Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another vlog. We haven't been on here for a while, have we?
We missed you guys. We hope you missed us.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a couple weeks off just to unwind. I sort of fell a little bit, hurt myself, so we needed to recoup and get ourselves back together, right?
Plus, it's been so hot, hot, hot. We couldn't even imagine going down to the strip right now.
But today is a very special day. This is our wedding anniversary today.
I took the day off work, 39 years. We're going to spend it together, go out on the road, and see what we can find out there.
We are going to head north on I-93, and we're going to stop at some really old Nevada towns.
In central Nevada, Lincoln County, Nevada. We're very excited.
And we're going to see just how far we can get. So this adventure starts right now. I have to fill the tank up. We're going very far into the wilds of Nevada. There is nothing we like better than getting out on the open road and going somewhere that has a lot of history and not a lot of people. Especially this year, with having to stick so close to home for so long, this day trip out of Las Vegas was just what our wandering hearts needed. Entering Interstate 15 North, we were reminded that 39 years ago, a day or two after our wedding, we were on this very same road heading north up to Zion National Park in Utah. In those days, not many cars had air conditioning, even here in the desert, but we didn't let that stop us. I guess that spirit of adventure has been with us from the very, very start. When I first moved to Las Vegas, I lived off of this road here, Cheyenne. And I was right by the highway. You get on the highway and you're down in the strip in 5 minutes.
Those were the days.
Nowadays it's probably 25 minutes.
And lots of traffic.
But we are heading north. Today we are turning onto US 93, the Great Basin Highway, and heading due north into east central Nevada. Our final destination is the historic mining town of Pioche, 181 miles from Las Vegas, and you are gonna love it. This day trip will take us through Lincoln County, 10,000 square miles of land, and only about 6,000 people. And get this, 0 traffic lights in the entire county. Absolutely perfect. Off to our right is a huge solar array spanning 3,100 acres of federal land known as the Dry Lake Solar Energy Zone. This installation is the result of 3 projects launched about 5 years ago to bring clean, renewable energy to help power fabulous Las Vegas. Our first quick stop is this big oasis right here on our right, just about an hour out of Las Vegas, called Coyote Springs. Coyote Springs was a big project, originally planned to cover 65 square miles out here and be an alternative to living right in Las Vegas. There were environmental concerns and legal issues, and development was halted at just the golf course and the clubhouse.
Well, hey, this is a quick unplanned stop. We couldn't resist. This is called Coyote Springs. It's just a little bit north of Las Vegas on US 93. It was intended to be a master plan community. I don't think they ever built one house, but they have a Jack Nicklaus designed championship golf course here, easy for me to say, and people from Las Vegas do come up and play. In fact, there's people here today. I see cars in the parking lot in the middle of nowhere.
All right, there's really nothing but a golf course out here now, but we need to get back on the road and head north. This stretch of the Mojave Desert north from Las Vegas for about 90 miles is the typical landscape you would expect to see. Scrub and hardy desert plants, rock formations, and mountains. You may have noticed a haze in the distance. This is not typical for Nevada. That's because of the California wildfires to our west. Then you go around the bend and there is green. This is the Pahranagat Valley, an oasis in the desert running about 40 miles north and south and only about a mile wide. It is fed by 3 large natural springs, and wait till you see what's up ahead. You won't believe it. Here's a fun fact. In the mid-1800s, the Pahranagat Valley was prime range for cattle and horse rustlers who pastured their stolen livestock in the meadows. Talk about wild times. Look at this. This is the Pahranagat National Wildlife Refuge, a 5,380-acre area that includes 2 lakes, plus marshes and wetlands fed by those natural springs I mentioned earlier. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service manages this beautiful natural resource, which was created in 1963 and is one of 4 in this part of Nevada. The refuge is an essential stopover for waterfowl and songbirds as they migrate south in the fall and back north in the early spring on the Pacific Flyway. It is also a winter habitat for some species as well. This is Lower Pahranagat Lake, which is the shallower of the 2 lakes in the refuge. Mallards, herons, and egrets prefer this spot because they like to wade in shallow water. We loved it for the utter silence that surrounds you when you stop here. By the way, in the Paiute language, Pahranagat means feet sticking in water. All right, I hope you can see us. We're trying to get a good view. We've been on the road for quite a while, haven't we?
Yeah, about a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's a long way getting out of Las Vegas to get anywhere.
It is. Plus, it was hard to get out of Las Vegas. But and you can hear the highway is just over this little mountain that we're in front of. But look at this behind us. You can't believe that this is in the middle of Nevada.
We actually gasped when we saw it off the road. This is called
We've
the Lower
seen it a couple times.
Lake.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times, but
never
I'll
with
tell
the
you,
camera.
Never with the camera. And when it comes up on you, holy mackerel, it's really something.
It is. The marshes and the rushes, there's black-eyed Susans like crazy and ducks in the water.
And from what we've been told, almost every species of bird that migrates stops here.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
This is the rest stop for everybody. So we're going to capture some footage, give you a little bit of history about this wonderful wildlife refuge.
Yeah, this is the actual stop number 1. That first one we did was not quite 1, but this is actual stop number 1. A little further north is Upper Pahranagat Lake and North Marsh, which has the deepest water and in fact feeds the lower lake as needed. This habitat is favored by diving ducks and other water birds. We spent a lot of time here with the inviting path that takes you right out into the water, the sand beach, the sunflowers, and the incredible views. This place actually reminded us of the Scottish Highland Lochs that we visited last year halfway around the world. We had that same feeling being here, the water, the vegetation, and the stark mountain backdrop. Can this really be Nevada, barely 90 miles from Las Vegas? All right, let's mention what you can do here. There are walking trails, camping, hunting and fishing, and a visitor's center, although it is closed right now. Boats that are non-motorized or equipped with electric motors are allowed on the lower lake year-round and on the upper lake February through September. What a fantastic natural resource we have here, and who in Las Vegas even knows about this place? Guess what? You do. Why don't you take a day trip up here and check out the Pahranagat Valley? All right, we regret having to leave the wildlife refuge, but we have a lot more road to cover on this adventure. Next, we are on our way to Alamo, the first actual town you come to on this route. Alamo is a ranching community, and if you ever want to see a picture postcard perfect ranch, you are looking at it. We had to stop and just pan this gorgeous spread. Cattle and horses, sparkling white fences, green pastures, and a mountain backdrop. All I can say is, wow. This is Alamo, Nevada. We missed capturing it on the northbound journey, so you're looking at it as we drive back south. And as we said, ranching is king here, but there's just about 1,000 residents. Alamo's first settlers were Mormons who laid out the town in 1901. Ash Springs is another ranching community in the Pahranagat Valley, just about 7 miles north of Alamo. We are also starting to go up a bit in elevation here as well. This little oasis sits at 4,000 feet. Just past Ash Springs, US 93 turns due east for almost 50 miles towards Caliente. This was a stunning part of our journey. You cross over the South Pahranagat mountain range with a summit close to 5,000 feet, and the mountainsides are deep green with juniper and pinyon pine. We were in total awe of this stretch of road. Coming down from the summit, you cross a huge dry lake bed, the Delamar Valley. Talk about desolate. At the higher elevations, though, we saw some really healthy Joshua trees thriving in these conditions. Nevada is anything but boring. Endless diversity of landscape and plants. This is the charming town of Caliente, which also was founded in 1901, originally as the Culver Well Ranch. The name, of course, means hot in Spanish. The town is named for hot springs in the area. According to the 2010 census, Caliente has just over 1,100 residents. In the year 1905, the Los Angeles and Salt Lake Railroad, which later became the Union Pacific, was routed through Caliente, and this gorgeous Spanish mission-style railroad depot was added in 1923. The first floor held the passenger waiting room and agent offices, and the second floor was a hotel. For more than 40 years, Caliente was one of the major division points in the main line between Los Angeles and Salt Lake City. When diesel replaced steam in the 1940s and 50s, the division point was moved to Las Vegas. Today, the depot is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is now the Caliente City Hall, Library, and Art Gallery. Let's just take a look at Caliente and 120 years of Western history. The town is shaded by beautiful cottonwood trees and has a lovely small-town America feel about it. There are hot springs here and 5 gorgeous Nevada state parks within 50-mile radius of the town. Here's a fun fact. Caliente was one of the favorite writing spots for the famous Western author Zane Grey. We were more than ready for a lunch break, I'll tell you that, and Caliente has a handful of restaurants to choose from. This one, though, grabbed our attention, the Knotty Pine right on Highway 93. The restaurant area has an old-fashioned counter, a row of booths, and a back room with a few tables. The food is hearty homemade Americana, and so is the decor. Around the corner is a bar area with slot machines and a pool table. This place just has a charming old town feel.
Hello, we stopped for lunch at the world-famous Knotty Pine Casino in Caliente, Nevada, right on Highway 93. We're going to have a burger. I love this place. It's so kitschy. I have to go take some pictures. Dale, did you get some lunch, poor guy?
You were talking to me. Yeah, I got a hamburger. I'm starving.
Let's take a look at Dale's hamburger.
I mean, I already started. I don't eat the bun, so...
Yeah, he's a good boy. He just eats it with a knife and fork. Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, so far it's great.
And I got a cheeseburger. Yum.
back in the truck and back on the road. Here, the Great Basin Highway is heading north again, and just past the turnoff to the town of Pahranagat is our next stop, the otherworldly Cathedral Gorge. We are going to take a look at the Cathedral Gorge from above via the Miller Point Overlook. The fantastic canyons and formations here are composed of soft bentonite clay and are called the Pahranagat Formation. These are the remnants of an ancient lake bed where over the centuries, rainwater, melting snow, and erosion left us with this. How stunning is this place? Cathedral Gorge is more than 1,600 acres in size and was one of the original Nevada state parks established in 1935. We have the Civilian Conservation Corps to thank for the great facilities at this park. Several years ago, we went down into the gorge and viewed the formations from below. I just want to insert a couple photos here so you can get a sense of the scale of this place. No wonder it was used in times past for biblical pageants, plays, and Easter services. All right, folks, this is the last leg of our Lincoln County journey. Another 13 miles of spectacular scenery and around the bend to the historic mining town of Pioche. Just look at this natural canyon we are driving through. I'll tell you what, it reminds us of the Virgin River Gorge in Utah, and it had to have been cut out by water over centuries and eons. Oh, there is so much to talk about here. Where do we start? How about with this contraption, the first thing you see when you're driving into town? This is a tram that uses gravity to transport buckets of ore down the hill to the mill and bring the empty buckets back up. Truly a marvel of engineering from the 1920s. Pioche is the county seat for Lincoln County, and it's up here in the mountains at an elevation of 6,060 feet above sea level. As of the 2010 census, the population was just about 1,000, but lately, Pioche has become very popular with Las Vegas residents and retirees, so the number is likely to be bigger by now. The town is named after Francois Pioche, a San Francisco financier who was originally from France and bought the town in 1869 following the discovery of the silver deposits. By the 1870s, Pioche had become one of the most important silver mining towns in Nevada, with a population of 10,000 and a reputation for being one of the roughest towns in the Old West. Almost 60% of the homicides reported in Nevada in 1871 and 72 happened right here in Pioche. Yikes. As with so many western boom and bust mining towns, the fortunes of Pioche declined in the 1880s once the main mines had closed down. Nowadays, Pioche has little mining activity. Its focus is on county government. But so much of the 19th century history still remains, including these original buildings right on the main street of Highway 93. All right, as usual, I am drawn to the entertainment section of a town. This building came to be in 1873 as Brown's Hall and hosted the grandest ball ever in Pioche, the Odd Fellows Ball upon opening. Over the years, it hosted theater events, variety shows, dances, and dinners. In 1891, the hall was purchased by a local. Mr. Thompson remodeled and reopened as Thompson's Opera House. I absolutely love it, and this is one of only 3 19th century theaters left here in Nevada. The Gem Theater next door was built by Mr. Thompson's sons in 1937. The Opera House had been screening silent movies since 1915, and they wanted to build an attached cinema specifically for films. All right, this is a must-see if you come to Pioche, the $1 Million Courthouse. When Pioche became county seat in 1871, the city fathers decided to build a courthouse and approved a budget of $26,400. So far, so good, right? But due to broken construction contracts, overruns, mismanagement, kickbacks, and bonds issued and reissued between the county and state, the courthouse was never paid off until 1938. 2 years after the building had been condemned. The final cost, $800,000. Not quite $1 million, but close enough to earn it the name. Now, just to the left of the courthouse, this eye-catching building used to be a hotel. Looks great, doesn't it? Well, look at this. When we were in Pioche back in 2008, this is what the hotel looked like. We are so grateful for all those passionate people who preserve and restore historical buildings. Okay, obviously, I could go on and on and on, but it's time for a break now, and we need to get out of this heat for a few minutes. This is the Overland Hotel and Saloon, where we had originally planned to stay overnight. This building was constructed in 1948 after a devastating fire destroyed the original Overland Hotel around the corner from this spot. Back in the 40s, this new building was not only a hotel, but also a dance hall, a grocery, and a doctor's office. Those are all gone now, and the 13 themed hotel rooms upstairs offer all the modern conveniences. But the saloon remains exactly the same as the day it was built. The beautiful cherry wood bar came from a bank in Kimberly, Nevada, a tiny copper mining town that had gone bust. Today, we scored a Tanqueray and tonic for just $6, and I had a run of good luck at the bar top slots. The bartender Joe told us great history about the place, including a few years back when the crew from the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures stayed there for a week looking for spirits. I'll tell you what, this was a much-needed break, and a fun time was had by all at the Overland Hotel and Saloon. Okay, what did you think about this one, Paula? Pretty exciting, huh?
I'll tell you what, I love this whole day. Everything we did was more fun than the thing we did before.
We did. It was really a long day. And honestly, I really wish we could be staying at that hotel, but not this time.
Actually, yeah, we're going to come back and do this in the fall because we had such a nice time in Pioche and there's so much more to see. Yeah, we love it here. So.
Yes, and also we have to head back to Las Vegas right now. So if we see anything on the way back, we will insert that right here.
Just had to take another look at this incredible natural canyon with these towering walls as we headed south out of Pioche. This is an absolutely stunning road to drive on. Another quick stop to appreciate these rock formations here along Highway 93. And you know what? The traffic is so light, you can just about pull over anywhere and see a photo-worthy spot.
But thumbs up for the parks that we stopped at, for the Knotty Pine. Those handmade burgers were incredible. For the great bartender with the history at the Overland.
Right, that was terrific.
And just everything. What a great road trip this was. What a great day.
All right, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else, Paula, we are back.
Yes, we are back, and we'll see you next week for an awesome staycation on the Strip.
Hope you had a good time. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
To our journey. We are now back in Las Vegas. It is evening and we're going to have our anniversary dinner at
Not bad.
And what does Dale have in front of him? After all that driving.
All that driving. Do you
got a
realize
nice-
that what we did this trip today, we could have driven to Reno?
Yeah, and here we are right back where we started in Las Vegas. Happy anniversary, my dear.
Happy anniversary, Paula. I love you.
Love you too.
Oh, look at that. What's this all about, Paula?
They gifted us cheesecake at the Outback for our anniversary, so I got a glass of Prosecco. Dale has a beer, and we're going to dig in and eat 1,000,000 calories. Cheesecake with raspberry sauce.
Let's do it. All right, first bite. This looks fabulous. I'm telling you, it doesn't compare to that lemon cheesecake that Paula made, but it's pretty doggone good. Really good, actually.